Alrighty, so let's get started. So last time we did the tile creator method, which has of course, your three methods called by one method: populate tile list, create tile mines, and create tile surroundings, which just basically added some key functionality to Minesweeper. Okay, so we're going to create one method. We might do a little bit more of this part, maybe not, I don't know. So we're going to do private. We're going to jump right into this and do some private void grid creator. Okay, simple name, pretty much self-explanatory in what it does. All right, so we're not going to do binding, but we are going to immediately call mine counter text block and set it to the actual total. Why I do it here, I have honestly no idea. You could do it up here right after mine total. Honestly, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that just because it sounds better. But we're going to write the method, or the actual thing here. Mine total. And you could label this, add a little bit here, but we're just going to do this. Actually, let's just add a space there. That's good. Okay. So we just removed one line of code from the method. That's fine. Okay, so row definition, row def is what I call it. So short for row definition. Column definition, call definition. All right, so what this actually is creating row and grid definitions in the code behind rather than actually creating it in the XAML. This is an easier method to create dynamic and ever-expanding grids. So if you want a whole bunch of buttons, this is how to do it. All right, so let's get started. So what we need first is a for loop. And you could name these anything you really want. Trying to look real quick. Okay, so you can just keep these as I. There's no point in changing it. For some reason I did, but I don't know why I did. New row definition. And there's no parameters, there's no nothing. You just create the row definition and then do game grid dot children dot add and then row def. And it'll do it as many times as it needs. So why are you erroring? It's because it's not children. I'm sorry. It's row definitions. Sorry, my bad. Same with this one. It's column definitions and then column call def. There we go. Sorry about that. Just used to typing children for some reason on that. Okay. So we also need to change this to column definition. And there we go. Copy and paste to the when for the when. So for loop, rows, and then for loop, J for the columns. And since these aren't in the same scope, they really don't affect anything. So we can use I and J as much as we want, or we could just use I here, here, and here like we did. So here's where we're going to create our buttons. Actually, hold on. Hold on. We're going to change this up for a second. I don't really ever usually just do this in the middle of a code example, but what we're going to do is we're going to create a button creator. Okay? And we're going to do this right here in the middle, right here. Okay? Button creator. Oh, let me actually type this out right. Private void button creator. And we're just going to post what we actually had back from here to here. Make it a little bit cleaner. Why not? Button B equals new button. Then b.tapped. So we're going to subscribe this to a b_tapped method, which is an actual event. We are creating an event here. We don't have the method, so it's going to error, and we don't need parentheses. So, and then we also need a b.write tapped plus equals b_write tapped, which will create the methods in a second. And then we need button list dot add b. We don't need to name these. They don't ever really need to use the name in any way, shape, or form. And this is a children.add, and I'm 100% sure on that one. So grid.set column B, and then J. Let's actually, I don't think we need to switch this, but let's just keep it like that. Grid set row BI. And then let's create the methods real quick. So we'll actually, real quick, before we do the events, let's do Control K S region button creator. Okay. And then let's make the methods. So real quick, we're also going to do a region events button events, because actually I have events up top up here because these are events. Hashtag end region. And then let's get started. So what we actually need is this. So we need private void b. Actually, did I capitalize that or not? Yes, I did. B underscore tapped object sender tapped routed event args e, and then that's our method. That's the actual event. You could do this much simpler, but oh well. Then we also need to copy this and then do write here. So write tapped event and then be write tapped. And that should fix all the issues there. Okay. So that's our actual start of our tapped events. Okay. So we also need to make sure we don't forget to call grid up here, grid creator. Because if we do, then we won't have a grid. Okay. So if we press Control F5 here, which is the run command without debug in Visual Studio. Okay, easy. There we go. Medium. There we go. Hard. There we go. So we have a grid. These don't do anything, but we have our grid. That's one of the most important parts of Minesweeper, is having all your buttons or clickable tiles, whatever you want to call them, down. So yeah, we're going to end this part here. We're going to try to keep these, you know, between anywhere from like 5 to 20 minutes. Yeah, so that's our grid creator and that's our button creator. We have two very important parts of this completed. We need to now just do our button events and the methods associated with them, and then we're actually almost done. So maybe a few more parts, and yeah, I'll see you guys around.